What's up, rockers from all across the world? I'm here, and we're going ultra gold. What's up? With George's boys, Vatican.
Has anyone ever actually read the marketing pitch on this can?
They're freaking awesome.
According to ancient Greek legend, the nectar of ambrosia gave immortality to all who drank it. It goes way deeper than that, but that's awesome.
That's good.
So Vatican's going to be immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it.
We can
I've never died.
I've never died. You can't prove that I will.
Unleash the ultra.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
shit.
The ultra beast.
But with Mike Sugars, Tom Lovejoy, which is funny, Lovejoy. This is the second Lovejoy I've heard. The first
really?
second one, or the first one I heard was in the Army.
Oh, okay.
And because there's every name in the military, you know,
Yeah,
man.
Right, right.
Sure.
And I'll never forget him because he pissed his pants. Because it was just.
Oh, you mean major guy? You mean me when I was also in the army?
Bill Sergeant was yelling at him. He's like, "Boy, you're not giving me love or joy. Get your ass on the ground." It was
That's
extreme.
awesome.
I'm stealing
Sounds like
my
high
line.
school boys.
Yeah, that's mine now.
We got Nolan Mobley, Jonathan McKay, and
all right.
Soto.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, day 3, correct?
Yes, day 3.
Day 3. Well, technically,
we have the routing shows.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
But day 3 of this tour.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You started off last night, or second night last night was in Cupertino, San
Yep.
Jose.
Yep.
My area code 408. What's up?
There you go.
Hella County.
Nice.
Sold out show. How was that?
It was awesome.
Dude, awesome vibes. And yeah, it was really packed out. Really good reaction. People were vibing, and like we're experiencing kind of a crowd that has, for the most part, never heard of us on this tour. So like that's really fun, just to see how they feel it out and everything. So, and it feels good. Like we're having a great time. And last night was a good time. I saw the biggest man I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude was jacked.
Was he moshing?
He looked like he wanted to.
Was he doing the muscle man dance in the pit?
He was having a good time for sure. Like I saw him getting down just a little bit and wanting to go in, but like whoever he would have hit would have just been dusted instantly.
There was this one dude
Big
who,
clown.
maybe we're talking about the same dude. This dude wasn't jacked, but he was a big fucker. And I was watching Boundaries and moshing, and this dude, he looked like he was there protecting someone.
He had to have a girl.
Yeah, but I looked around and I didn't see a girl behind him or anything, but he looked like he was trying to stop things from happening. And he also had this vibe of that like he had just committed crimes, which was fucking awesome. But I kind of ran into him softly at one point, and I was super fucking stressed out.
Excuse me, bro.
I just felt my body hit a body, and I turned around and I was like looking at like his nipples, and like was like, holy fuck!
He didn't move at all.
Dude,
whenever he
straight
did.
up, it was like hitting a somewhat flabby wall because he was kind of fat, but then just you couldn't physically move this dude.
No, the guy I was talking about is definitely.
He's gonna watch the
True
show,
like
like
that.
show.
Yeah.
Who you call him, Flabby?
Dude, if that actually happened, I would just hand him $40. My dad, dude, straight up, straight up.
It was at the X Bar, and I've actually never really heard of that. And you said it was like a smaller venue.
It definitely felt more like a close up. It was like kind of felt more like a hardcore show because it wasn't like crazy stage sound or like anything. It was pretty raw. It was just get on the stage, play, no mics on the kit, no like nothing crazy. It was just like a small room.
Yeah,
so
it's a side room of a bowling alley.
Oh, okay. So kind of like the Santa Cruz one that has like Catalyst and stuff in their slide.
Yeah.
We played there. We played the X Bar in 2019 with a bunch of hardcore bands.
Yeah,
that was
so
our
I was
first time
surprised
there.
at this.
So-
Excuse me, I was surprised that this tour went there.
That's kind of also Destin's Club LA. It's literally right next to the bowling alley too. So you see all these nice families, and you see a bunch of metalheads going to their show. Like, oh hi.
There's this place in Ohio called Mahal's. It's the same thing. A bunch of dudes that I just bought that it's like a bowling alley, and sometimes they have bands play in the alley, and then other times they have bands play in the actual venue. There's like 5 places in this bowling alley that they
I played
have.
Mahal's before.
Yeah, Mahal's.
Well, now you guys are in another sold out show here, Chain Reaction.
Yes.
Stomping grounds for hardcore and
Orange
metal.
County.
really blessed to be playing here again.
Yeah.
We played here
I'm
last year in November, and it was also a sold out show. So
Same.
it's cool.
That was the first night of the show too. Actually, I think it was the
Yeah, it was day
It
one.
was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah, you interviewed.
Wrist Meets Razor dudes.
Yeah.
Shout out. Great people.
Yes.
Yeah, that tour was so, and you guys were killing it that night too, even though minus some problems that happened.
Yeah, I had, we had tried everything. We were like, oh, we'll try this cable and that cable and try rerouting this shit, and just like nothing worked. And so I was like, all right, scrap the board. So my first time here was like not great. We got through it. The set was still really dope. I was just like,
was that your guys' first time here?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
First
holy
time
shit.
bands played here.
Which
Wow.
I had been watching bands like play here on YouTube since I was in like high school. So playing here for the first time, I was like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. And then just they're like, all right, you have to play. And then like just my shit is not working. Which I know that everything's good. So tonight's gonna be sick. There will be no troubles, and I'll give my shot at redemption. The set was still. Oh, I swear to God. The set was sick, though. Last time, like it was totally fine. I just kept having to like roll back on my volume, which is mad annoying. I didn't get like the full enjoyment out of it. But today's gonna be sick. So.
Well, knowing that was your guys' first time down, and you're coming back in here, and you're seeing all. So, if anyone has never been to Chain Reaction, and you've probably seen videos of it, and on the inside they have band tees plastered all over the wall. You know, every band that's come through here, from Avenged Sevenfold, My Chemical Romance, you name it, they played here. Atreyu, everybody.
That's on the periphery shirt.
They've got my old band posted up next to the shitter. Straight up, we played here 100 times, and that my old band played here all the time because they were from 29 Palms. So this is like our hometown shows were here, and yeah, that shirt's been next to the fucking toilet the entire fucking time.
Well, I guess it'd be fun to ask, like, you're looking at these old t-shirts and the bands and whatnot, everybody who grew up with them. Mm-hmm. If there's one band you can choose on there to be for that show, and their OG days, who would it be?
Did you say a band to be or a band to beef?
No, be watch.
I think a band to beef. Like, who would I fight?
I would fight Tom's old band.
That's fine. That would be a really funny fight, because depending on the lineup, that would either be really sad or really awesome.
I would want to see the Chariot here. I remember the first time I saw the Chariot in Indianapolis. I was probably like 17 years old. They were on tour with We Came as Romans and Dead and Divine.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the Chariot was. This was like shortly after The Dark Knight had come out, and the Chariot singer, whose name escapes me right now, came out with Joker face paint on, which sounds very memey, like today. That's a little suspicious today, but
right when that movie come out and everything,
it was cool. But he also had this huge, like, you know, those industrial lights that are like plugged in on like the big cords, and it's like closed on the back. He had one of those, and at one point he just yelled, "Turn off all the stage lights!"
And he
doing that part from Wars and Rumors of Wars, like "Victory is such a lonely word," and he's swinging. It's the only light in the room, just swinging it.
Cool. Yeah, that band was awesome.
Religious. It was awesome.
So I don't know what all the shirts are on the wall. I saw Periphery.
That's what I saw.
I was gonna say that's the one that I looked at, so I would be down to see them for sure.
In this room, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
I saw Through the Eyes of the Dead shirt.
So cool.
That band is awesome. I can't tell you how many riffs I wrote when I was 16 that literally just ripped off the intro of 2 Inches from the Main Artery.
Hey, it's everyone is inspiring everybody else. That's how music works. We're all sharing notes. Steinbeck Joseph.
Directly to on stage right at the corner. There's an Ignite shirt. And
Ignite
is one of my favorite melodic hardcore bands. Whatever. That it's like sucks because they kind of they don't bite now, but I would love to see them here. I'll probably never. They're a band where they play so rarely. Now they don't even have their original singer anymore. I will never see them again, probably, even though they're still touring. So I would kill to see them here at like a certain heyday that they had, because that band is like somewhat of a religious experience thing for me. And then, or there's a Halud shirt up here, and it would be funny.
Okay, it would be awesome to see.
It would just be funny.
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome
and funny.
But I get to pick the lineup.
In the era.
It's Halud, but where are the bands?
At least I can proudly say I saw the last Slave show here with Johnny in them.
Oh
yeah.
They did that tour
That's
here.
cool.
The last one, yeah. And it was an acoustic show. It was actually really, really
That's
good.
sick.
And of course they did Mariah Carey. Those were on Christmas.
That's funny.
But yeah, you guys are still fresh on this tour. You guys aren't smelling yet, so that's good. No
Yeah,
babies.
We took a couple showers.
If I took my shoes off, I sure have stink like shit.
I reek.
But you guys have a long tour, about almost 2 months worth going on to it. And you're going to be finishing up back in California too, Whiskey A Go Go. That's July 2nd?
Yes.
Which feels like forever away right now.
Right?
It's gonna fly.
Because you guys are pretty much going a show a night for the most part. I think I saw some days you have off.
There's a couple of days out.
There's
Just
some
my driving
for driving.
yeah, but it's a lot of shows. 40-something shows.
Yeah, people don't realize that touring is a grind, especially you look at those dates back to back. It's a long drive.
Especially the ones where there's like 15 hours between shows. Like play a show, 15-hour drive to play the show again.
Yep. There was this
Those
one
are
tour
hard.
that I did. It was 20 days to do an actual full U.S.
That's awful.
So every
that's
single
miserable.
Yeah, every single.
That's a
night was
24-hour
minimum
driver
of
rotating.
8
Yeah.
hours.
Was the first full US we did, was that not? The first full US, was that not like 2 weeks?
Well, I was thinking of our second full US with Heaven's Dying Old Wounds, where we played Vegas, and then there was like a fest in the Midwest, so we had to change our routing around. So we went from Vegas to Colorado Springs, and we left Vegas at midnight and got to the venue in Colorado Springs at 5 o'clock to load in.
Oh,
Just nonstop drive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not dope.
Yeah, so this tour is not nearly as bad. I mean, it's always a grind.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're just
it is.
traveling every day and you're just sitting down.
But you're hanging
all
out with
day.
your boys, though.
And you're hanging out,
It's
but
a squad.
it is a bit of a grind for sure. But at least on this tour, it's not. Like, it's routed in a more reasonable
Yeah.
way, even though it seems crazy because it just does a weird circle, but it's
Well, now it's a great way going into. People don't understand, especially nowadays. You know, touring 20 years ago was a lot cheaper and a little bit more affordable. Now things are a lot harder. Do you guys think touring is really? It's a strain on a musician now with the current, gas prices going from different states and seeing the different, cost of livings and affecting into your band
I
spending.
think if you really want to do it, you don't care about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
You,
problem.
you have to love it.
Yeah.
And just
I don't think about that shit because that's not what the people that come to see you think about. So you got to think about what they like. Just bringing the good shit to them.
Yeah.
That's what matters. I don't care about all that other side stuff that much. Just bring good energy and they'll fucking love it. And the other stuff is just, if you don't like to do it, then just don't do it.
yeah.
Simple.
I would be lying.
Because it's hard.
I'd be lying if I didn't make, if I said I didn't make a crazy face every time I saw the gas prices out here, which I'm sure everybody does.
Especially out here.
This shit
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
I mean, especially out here, it's like $10, $20
Yeah.
a gallon.
Dude, I complain at home as it is.
I get the idea, like, for the most part, Josie and I kind of really vibe on, like, the just do the thing, no compromises, do whatever. But when it does come to, like, touring stuff, I've toured for a really long time, and I've seen just gas and just the general expenses rise from, like, I think the first tour I did, on average, if I was out in California, we were paying $175. So you think about the percentage increase there.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I mean, like, the reality of the situation is, like, for some kinds of bands, it's just necessary. And so that is where you can complain about it, or you can just shut up and go and, like, adapt when you're there.
Yeah.
Because, like, it would be nice if a band like us could sit at home and like grow our band without having to tour. As, like, fun as that could be, that's just not a reality that we exist in. We have to tour. We want to, like, play shows because it's kind of one of the only enjoyable parts of being in a band, at least for me. It's like, it is the number one thing, and there's like 3 things about being in a band that are actually cool. So
If I couldn't tour, I'd be like, the fuck is this?
I don't really have interest in doing any of the other stuff. So I'm like, it's just like, it sucks to come out here and be like, damn, they're fucking shoving this fucking hose or this thing up my ass the whole time. Like, I'm just getting fucked on this, but still love it, and it sucks to have to pay that much money.
You adapt.
Yeah. I think if you love it enough and you want to do it enough, all the other extraneous stuff you figure out a way to work it out. And I think we've always been able to do that.
What would be a good tip then for a new aspiring band trying to get on the road next year, forming their tour, hopping on with somebody with a good booking agent? A tip you would give for a new band in this new climate for touring, coming and post COVID too, coming back. What would be some good tips that you give for
Bring a spare tire.
and a jack?
Yeah, so, like, small things are definitely like the spare tire, the vehicle maintenance, the shit that you don't think about. It's like, obviously, get that stuff taken care of. If you're driving around a junker, like, it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Yep.
Something's gonna happen.
The other stuff is just the same as like like everyone's gonna complain about money, so it's like, okay, figure out how to make more money, and that sounds like really stupid. But if that's like prepare better by like everyone in the band having like a side hustle that can like at least alleviate your personal expenses, or like figure out all the other ways that your band can make money besides like just sales, like the legal ways your band can make money.
Yeah.
The tax
have a separate bank account for the band too.
A separate bank account for the band, like. You know, you cannot pay for anything ever if you stack credit cards the correct way. Random shit like that. That's like all like beyond what like a small band should, but just try to look for the ways that you can keep your fucking vehicle working, and then look for the ways that you can make money on the road that are not just a guarantee and merch.
Yeah.
Because then that will make your life easier. And there is like 10 to 15 ways you can do it.
Try not to spend like $40 a day on food too.
Even when it comes to like the merch side of things, like especially when you're a really like young band, maybe it's your first couple times or your first actual time on the road, you can put like little items on your table that you can be like, oh, give us a tip, and you can have patches or a sticker, you know, stuff like that. I've seen that work for a lot of people, and that's whatever you can do to help your daily income, especially with like food and just other like shit that you need on the road, or that you have to just like restock for your own personal self. Like those kind of things help.
And one thing at least we start doing with bands that I've worked with and whatnot, you know, if you're in the band, maybe even just if you're serious about it, you guys are all in, all legal paperwork signed, you got trademark your name, everybody.
Yeah.
10% of your check goes to the band.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you guys always have something to use for marketing and stuff like that.
We've definitely done that before. We haven't done that in a while, but there was a period where we were like paying like dues to the band essentially to say like you weigh with like a membership and everything, and like that's definitely something that people should think about. Like bands, like young bands, you know, I definitely made this mistake. You like get this money and you're like, oh, we'll just spend it on blah blah blah, or we'll do this and we'll do that, and then everyone complains about the fact that like, oh, like this guy's putting in more or not putting in as much as me, or like we don't have money because of this and because of that. So just be smart about your money. There's like an element to everything that people do. It's like just get out there and do it.
Because the band is a business as well.
But that's the other thing I was gonna say is a band is a business. And a band is actually a really fucking annoying, frustrating business with a lot of people involved, and no one wants to treat it that way. And then you just argue because of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you can alleviate all that stuff by just setting the ground rules early on and being very insanely transparent about what the money is gonna be for people.
Yes.
You should just anticipate sinking a lot of money in for the enjoyment and hoping for a return one day. Inevitably, you will continue sinking money in. You know. If you're playing an instrument, you have to pay for strings, pedals, cables.
Anything that breaks.
Fixing shit all the time.
Shit breaks all the time.
Which, you know, and then you don't think about like tax write-offs. You can write all that shit off.
Everything's a write-off.
Yeah.
As long as you made a legal name for it and have everything going straight right, then you can write it off.
That's not even something that I did personally until this year. You know what I mean? So I was just like eating the cost for shit for however long that we've been doing the band. Yeah, and then eventually, you know, you may get some money back, which is nice, but I would just anticipate, like, eating shit.
Yeah.
And if you love it, then it really doesn't matter.
Do you think Instagram has created and social media has created almost a fake mirage that glamorizes touring, that it's some of this huge party, making money, and not really understanding that it is a grind and you need to have passion for it?
There are definitely some bands or artists, whichever you want to go with, that definitely do that kind of stuff and make it look like a party and like it's not hard. And I will say, like, there are aspects of it that are not hard. It is not hard to wake up and be with like my bros every day or anything. Like that kind of stuff is fun, but like just like everything else in life, what happens on Instagram is not close to the 100% reality. That is just a moment that they have captured or posed for or set up, and it can be really grinding. And that can be for small bands. It can be for bigger bands that you could see on buses and not even realize like how much work they have to put in every single day.
I think that there's a few. So like it just depends on who you're looking at on social media. But I think, to a degree, the reverse has happened with some artists, not even just bands, but bigger artists, smaller artists who want to be more transparent about how things work.
Yeah.
Like, for like a scene example, that band, This Wildlife, it's like a acoustic two-piece band, Warped Tour stuff. They have, like on their TikTok, it's always like a mix of talking about what happened with shows, but then also breaking down the cost of how everything worked, how everything's gone on. And that's really interesting and illuminating to a lot of people, because That
Nobody
band.
says.
Because nobody missed that. Or like, there's
Yeah.
a dude that used to be in the band. His name's Ben. I can't remember. His band's called Bleak Soul now. And on their Instagram and TikTok, he talks a lot about the expenses that his old band, as it is, went through.
Yeah.
And like, the other day he did something where he broke down like the cost of Warped Tour for a band like theirs, which is something that no one ever wanted to talk about because it's like everyone thinks Warped Tour was like tax season.
Yeah.
And all this shit without actually understanding how much money you had to spend to be on it. And like, so on one hand, you know, you're supposed to use social media to like glamorize what you're doing so people like connect with you in that sense, and that's fine, whatever, who cares. But there's also a lot of other people that want to like flip the script, and to me that I'm like obsessed with the business end of everything, so that's really interesting to me, and that makes me sympathize with some of these people a lot more and empathize with them in a different way.
Because August Burn Red just canceled their European tour because of costs.
See, that's the insane
Yeah.
thing. It's like August Burns Red just had to cancel a European tour, like a tour that they would have been able to milk, and that's like a band where you could debate
And
that
that's a
they could
large
go over
band.
there and play a small arena with pyro, and like they should be able to sell every one of those rooms.
Yeah.
And people are like, why did you cancel this and that? I know a bunch of people that thought that they lied. It's like, you just don't understand. When as soon as you're flying all this stuff over, all these people, just getting everyone there is like $8,000.
Yeah.
Especially now with
You'll be tens of thousands in the hole, like before.
Before you can do anything.
Before doors even open the first day.
Yeah. So I think it's like, there's definitely the aspect of social media where everybody fucking lies, but there's also a lot of people that are just over that and tell the truth. Sometimes too much of the truth. And I think it's awesome and insane.
I feel like to a large degree, like the celebrity shit, like social media stuff. I mean, you still have influencers, but I feel like a lot of that has kind of died off. Like, I don't think people invest in like a celebrity as much now. They just like people who are like normal and cool.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, at least from my experience.
More transparent with who they are, and not just like doing it for show.
Right, which I think, in one sense, like the influencer stuff, kind of wacky. But also, if it like convinces a kid to like, oh, I want to tour and just try it, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
But just like, don't go in expecting, you know what I mean? That.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen right away.
Yeah.
for every good moment that gets posted on social media, there's 1,000 bullshit annoying moments that make you want to fucking go crazy. So, and it's cool to see more people just sharing that and being a little more honest.
Yeah. Shout out to a band I'm great friends with called Fate Destroyed. They do on their tours. They do Broke Band Diaries episode so and so.
Oh Jesus! I'll have to check those out.
So it's a great, transparent, real life what it's like for a starting LA band going on. They were just like with Living Dead Girl. I forgot who else they were. Vampires Everywhere and some other stuff. But going cross country and stuff like that, showing what it's like being a small band touring on a major tour and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't get an Airbnb every day.
Yeah, right. Convenient, but it's not going to work all the time.
No.
But I guess going on a positive notes, way more positive notes. Next month, less than a month, so 3 weeks, June 17th, you guys are going to have your sophomore album, Ultra, pumping out.
Yes, very excited.
Very stoked.
Record's very funny.
Yeah.
really fucking funny record, straight up.
There's definitely a lot that happens on the record. So like even whenever we say it's funny, I think it's more of a reflection. That is more to say that like even based on like the 2 singles that are out, the third one that will come out like close to the actual day that it comes
Was that
out.
that you guys have 3 singles for it?
Oh, wait,
Oh,
we do.
yeah.
Just
Okay.
one we released so early that we forget about.
So there's
Yeah.
there's a 4th one, but yeah, sorry, totally forgot about that. I think saying that the record is funny is more to say that based on any of the singles that we chose, that really we were sifting between probably like 9 different songs on the record as a whole, that we were like, this could be a single, and I really think that
That's a
any
good
of
problem
those
to have.
like stand on their own and
Yeah.
have like a bit of a different feel, and that like there's a lot of, I don't think anyone can necessarily say they can expect what the record's going to sound like just based on the songs that are out so far.
It's just we went in there being like, let's just do what we fucking like, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it definitely made a lot of different things happen.
Yeah.
So,
Now, is there a general theme or concept, maybe concept idea that you guys put in, or is it just like every idea? You know what? I saw this from a Simpsons episode.
Dude, there's definitely a shit ton of influence because we all like we all like a certain realm of the same things, but I think we all like a lot of different things. Me and Hosian and Mike kind of stayed on top of like the visual stuff for it. Tom and Mac did a lot of writing. I did a little bit of writing. Mike was like on top of the fucking lyrics, like in the studio a lot of the time too.
Writing
like,
every day and then singing at night.
Oh yeah.
And just destroying it.
And shout out to Randy for
Randy,
literally grinding
the fucking
all
god,
day,
Randy
every day
LaBeouf.
to like get the record done.
I also want to shout out my wife because she helped me write a lot as I was panicking.
There's definitely some like,
I don't want too much.
it's not really like a concept record. 'Cause that shit kind of sucks. But there's definitely like an overall theme of it being like very musically very uncompromising, and then lyrically being like an uncompromising person.
Yeah.
I think I know like I'm sure Mike would agree to an extent that like a lot of it's about being yourself but striving to be the best version of yourself, getting rid of like toxic elements of your life, that whether that be things, behaviors, people, family, all kinds of stuff like that. Those are all big elements of the record, and then also dealing with like being removed from someone else's life. Lyrically, all that stuff is like a huge element to the record, and then a lot of the music is that after Mike started writing lyrics, a lot of the music is inspired by like those ideas, those kinds of thoughts and things like that, and those sorts of emotions.
There's a few songs on the record that we like wrote that are on the album that were written like in the studio or right as we were about to get in there, because we were just like, dude, fuck it, let's just like write this shit.
Keep going.
And it felt cool, it felt good to us, and that's the best shit, because we had so much material like throughout like the year or two or whatever, and then like we'd get to the studio and we're like, we don't really want to use all of this stuff, so we wrote like 2 or 3 songs right as we were getting in
the studio.
And every time you introduced a new one, I panicked a little more.
Yeah, I mean, same, because learning all the drum parts last minute is painful.
Yeah.
There was probably when we were like 2 or 3 songs into like writing the record, me and Tom were talking on the phone one night, and we were kind of talking about like I think collectively like some of our favorite bands are like bands like Hatebreed and Meshuggah, Dillinger Escape Plan, and we were just like okay, like what if like Meshuggah had to write like a 2002 Hatebreed record, but then like throw in like Dillinger parts, and I think that's kind of like the root of that, but then it's kind of spread out into so much more. There's a lot of like genre break.
So you guys are going ultra.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Bring me one of those drums. I need to
Write this shit.
Like
that was the point of the record name. It was just like, what is this shit? It's fucking ultra. Like that. It doesn't need to be said anything else.
Because Ultra Gold, the song, was written before we had the title or anything. We're like, do we want to call it just Ultra Gold, or like I had like a couple different names. Like, some were like a long thing. Like, I like big long sentence names typically, but then Hosian was the one who was like, it's just Ultra.
In the Sheets parking lot, I remember it.
I have the picture saved on my phone where I think I was on your back, and I was drinking something. We were like, is that it or whatever, and like someone just like took a picture, and I was in the middle of saying the record is called Ultra. It's a terrible photo, but I look at it like pretty. I look at it pretty often. I'm like,
that should be a merch design. That horrible photo should be the merch design.
That would be awesome.
That's a limited drop.
That could be dope.
I look so bad in it.
By that he means he looks awesome.
No, I look horrible.
I always try to find a title or anything. I'm a fan of being like, what word sums up all of the shit you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Album title should be like a mission statement.
Like I also came up with the name for the last one too, and that felt like it needed to be that. And then this time I was like, we don't need all this like hidden and meaning stuff. Like, dude, fuck that. Like, this is who we are. It's just flat out this.
That's definitely something we talk about when we're writing records. Is metalcore metaphor is like really annoying.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like everything being veiled behind like fire and rage and all this shit, and like every song is just about telling someone to fuck themselves. So it's like you can literally just say fuck you, and it works better, in my opinion. So like we wanted it to be pretty direct.
Fuck you, Corin Breakdown.
Yes. Literally, someone says "fuck you" before a big breakdown. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty stupid.
It's gonna hit.
That's something that like I struggled with coming into the band too. Is like I loved metaphor and like seeming like I was like fucking smarter than I actually am.
Thesaurus metalcore.
Dude, thesaurus that's a
Moody
real
core.
fucking thing, and like I think everyone struggles with that to a certain degree because like really I have like fucking worms for brains, and like it was Tom, like he pushed me really hard just to like really fucking rein some of that shit in. So there's definitely a lot of moments where I just reined it in.
Yeah.
And there's one song on the record that is particularly toxic, and it is very just fuck you kind of thing.
Shit like that is not any different than being a guitarist though and thinking every riff has
to be
a
crazy.
shred.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. Like sometimes you gotta
Sometimes you
just
just gotta chug.
rein it in.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to not try to like alienate people as well. Like when they're listening, they're like, "What is this guy talking about?" And I think it's
Straight
also
up.
really important to like the only way for me to track growth is if I was uncomfortable throughout the period of it all. So that I think all of us were uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And that's if you just kind of like roll into a record, it's like, did you really like? Yeah, you have to like make it like feel like kind of shitty a bit.
Yeah.
At least that's how I like to track growth. I'm like, was it a pain to get to where I am now? And I look back and I'm like, damn, like that's cool. It's about leveling up.
Yeah.
I think everyone was in the trenches
Yeah.
for sure.
I got humbled at that studio experience, dude. I was like,
Dude, you learn a lot in
guitar.
studio, man. You think you know guitar, and then like, oh fuck.
When you got someone else like there and telling you, you're like, dude, that sucked, do it again. I'm like, oh fuck, it's gonna be like this for the whole month.
Dude, I know Hosian was definitely in the trenches getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
I was fucking getting my ass kicked a couple times.
And
It's
shout
like
out to
everyone
Randy
had
for it because he made us all.
He made us all better. He made us grow.
You know, even if we were like frustrated, it's like, nah, he's there to know, like, he's like, I can see it. You just have to go there, and you get to go to that place where it sucks.
Yeah.
you know?
And even with 3 singles, 4th one, I guess Sims will be coming out right before the release then.
Yeah.
This is already contender for albums of the year up there, dude. Every single one, they're bangers.
I appreciate
I appreciate that.
Yeah, like,
Awesome.
when I heard Reverence, I'm like, oh my fucking god! I mean, I've already been liking you guys, but it's like this album is a huge step up from the previous one. You guys' first debut album was amazing, but this one you can hear the difference and like, damn, this is gonna go hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Let's go in
I
ultra.
appreciate that.
Dude, I think
It is.
the singles that are out now are like a good idea of what to expect, but I feel like the other songs also go in like a totally different direction, but just like 100%
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
Like everything is fucking insane.
And I gotta,
These songs are really funny.
Like track
It's
1 and
crazy.
2, when you like just when it comes out, just fucking hit track 1 and just let it fucking
it
happen
ride.
to you because that shit is hilarious.
Well, I think you nailed it on the button actually when you talked about it. Now when I'm hearing, I'm like, you know what? This is a great blend of Meshuggah and Hatebreed. You know,
That
it's the best versions.
totally is the vibe.
Yeah,
Because we all love big brain music, but
And also,
And we also love
caveman
Dum
music.
Dum.
but also we
Yeah.
love having no brain power.
Well, what's the next single then going to be released? If you guys are allowed to say it prior to the album dropping.
We can say it doesn't matter.
So it's called Where Heavens Collide, and it's definitely a little bit of a different feel than like what people are familiar with the band. And I think Reverence is like a good like little lead into what that feel can look like. I don't want to give away. I'm not going to just be like, this song sounds like, but
Playing it
like,
tonight.
Yeah,
we're playing it tonight.
Okay.
And, like we're playing it on this tour, and you know, by the
really
time
funny.
the record comes out, it's halfway through the tour and stuff. I'm really excited on it. I know it is definitely like a little risky, and like, and I know everyone here like really pushed themselves with it. I particularly was in the trenches trying to like make that kind of shit happen. So I'm really proud of that song, and I'm ready for it to come out because it's a big swing, and I really hope it hits.
and that's what happens with the big swing ones. The ones that you're the most nervous about end up being the big hits.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's a bunch of other songs that we could put out that would be cool, but they wouldn't have like they wouldn't be conversation starters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'd just people would be like, "That's crazy. That's metal. That's awesome."
Yeah.
But that would be the conversation.
And
rather
then they
than,
go
like,
on to the next crazy.
This one turns the lamb goat comments. This one gets
fuck.
This is gonna
gets heavy
anonymous-
lamb goat
the
reaction,
anonymous
Not
talking.
reading
which
it.
is awesome.
Not
So
reading that
fucking
shit.
awesome.
Now for the album artwork design, fucking love it. It's giving me Deus Ex, Cyberpunk.
That's funny.
You know the
That
vibes.
That,
Yeah,
that
know
was my
Deus Ex
for
was
everything.
the reference.
That's one of my OG favorite nerdy games.
Yep.
Here, dude.
So like I'm like, oh heck yeah, it actually got me. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go replay Deus Ex now.
It was actually, and it was the colors, everything was completely different. And then I went back and played Human Revolution.
Yes.
And I was like, this is the way. This is the vibes.
Yeah.
Black and gold.
It started as like Ex Machina and Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
We were like big on that wave, and then the colors came from like Deus Ex. It was like the big gold thing.
black and gold,
Which I was
yeah.
not totally on board for at first, because I was like, I don't know. But then like, we had Vicky redo it. Because initially, it was like, she had like,
Like blue and purple.
it was like blue, purpley, silver
Okay, kind of like
vibes.
the what Eon Flux kind of thing.
Yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Ghost in
Yeah,
Shell.
very,
yeah.
very much.
Kind of what
yeah.
you would expect when you see something like that. And then when she came back with like the gold redo on it,
Mhm.
we were like, yo, that's it right there. That's
Crisp.
the shit.
And the vinyl, I love the vinyl area and the CD. The first time I want to buy a CD because the CD looks really sick.
That's awesome, dude.
Because you know you don't have CD players anymore.
Oh yeah,
But
that shit phased out.
the CD looks like okay, all right, I'm gonna stick this in my neck and listen to it.
Yeah, the CD, like the CD design was like super important to me, because I was like, so I like this dude Daniel Caesar, who's like an R&B kind of guy, and he's like very ahead on the wave of like visual stuff. And initially, I wanted to have like transparencies for the booklet printed on, and we couldn't do that, which is totally fine. But I was like, I want to be able to like see through the cover and like experience just like the CD as
Yeah.
part of like the art. So if you pull a CD off, it like ties into the back side of where the CD would be perfectly. And then the sticker on it will be like the label, so you can
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted like the visual of the CD to be as important as like a vinyl would be.
I love that artists and bands are starting to do that. Make that whole encompassing. This is part of your project. This is part of your journey.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Everything
from-
matters, dude.
Yeah, that goes
Every
into the
little-
whole
every little
vibe
thing.
and persona of the album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
There are so many bands or records that I ended up falling in love with just because I just see it. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that looks fucking cool. I'm gonna check it out at least.
That's how everyone gets into something when you're
Yep.
when you're a child. Like, you don't go on the internet and read about it. You like see something on the shelf. And you're like, that looks cool. I want it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
That's
going
the concept.
also the fun thing, I guess, going into the genre and what you guys are technically classified as metalcore.
Yeah.
technically. But you really, it's 2022. Everything's fucking blurred. Okay,
Yeah.
Every genre is everyone. Everyone's playing with everyone. But you guys have heavy roots and ties to the hardcore community. I mean, your last tour was See You Space Cowboy with Wrist Meets Razor. Shout out, like. Hardcore bands, you have huge love for these guys. Dying Wish that you guys have played with before and stuff like that. So I've noticed that, I don't know, maybe you guys are wrong, but the hardcore music in general has gotten such a huge wave of popularity.
Yeah.
Like even you guys getting bumped on Sirius XM, it's like it's more than ever. Shows are selling out everywhere. Code Orange, Knock Loose, Kublai Khan, Terror, Drain. Every time Drain plays over here, they're freaking gone and
Fucking sick.
yeah, they're just done. Their
Yeah.
shows are sold out.
Yeah.
What do you think this resurgence is? Why are hardcore shows selling out more than a mainstream act over at freaking The Forum?
I think a lot of it had to do with COVID, like not no one being able to do anything, but also in that time, so many people got into music or like hardcore metal stuff during that time because they didn't have anything else to do sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I feel like a lot of people, because like we play all these shows and I see a bunch of people I've never seen before, and I'm like, damn, and they're all like younger kids too.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, honestly, to be very transparent about it, it's because hardcore is music for young people, and
there's huge
other
age-
people are just fucking dying. To be real, like
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier, like it's like these shows sell more than like a Marilyn Manson tour or like a Rob Zombie tour and things like that. And it's like it's not that those artists have like fully gone away, but it's just those people are not trying to pull new people in there.
Yeah.
New crop of kids that. Some of these people haven't ever experienced live music before
Yeah.
because they were 14 when they started getting into guitar music,
Yeah.
and that was in 2020, and they couldn't see bands for years. Now they can finally go see bands.
Yeah.
Also, it's just fucking hardcore is cool.
Yeah,
Like, it's the
dope.
coolest music in the world. It's the coolest fucking vibe. Once you go to like one really dope hardcore show, you're like every other show you're like, I'm supposed to just fucking stand here.
You gotta compare it
and
to-
watch some motherfucker just also stand there. That's so fucking boring.
I will preach this. I don't care. Someone's probably gonna bash my head in. I don't care. Kublai Khan has the most hardcore pits compared to Slipknot. Just saying.
Kublai Khan.
I believe it.
Dude,
I believe it.
New record is
was
great.
wild.
Yeah, that new EP is fucking awesome.
Dude,
but
Swan
that
Song.
band is awesome. Also, that's the other thing. It's just like people, you get attracted to hardcore because it's like, no, not that all the people are scary, but it is scary. Everyone's got some story where they're like, I saw like this guy get his fucking jaw ripped off, or I saw this guy get stomped out, or I just saw this guy like have a seizure because he got hit.
But it's still
in the
not
head.
like scary. People are respectful if you fall down.
No,
just to
people
get
are
it.
respectful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it has this mystery
yeah.
and danger to
Yeah.
it that you just don't get in other places. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that does make it cool and fun.
It's cool too because like you see all these kids being able to go on stage too with the band and like jump off stage. Like a lot of those big shows, like they're like, don't get on stage, don't do this. Like,
Yeah.
And so like it feels more like you're a part of it too.
Yeah.
You're not just there to watch.
Like one of the last ETID shows down here for their Violent Gentleman anniversary party they were doing.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Drain.
yeah, yeah.
That was the greatest ETID show I've ever been to in my life. Rest in peace, ETID.
Amazing, man.
But and you guys are part of that culture. Like you guys are on 2 nights now sold out. I'm guaranteed there's gonna be more sold out shows on.
Oh yeah.
Are you sick of so?
Would love that.
Come
Please do
To a
it.
gig.
Just quick band history then, because technically, in 2021, Mike, you kind of hopped on board,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
How did you guys decide Mike, and as opposed to somebody else? Did you do like an undie run or something?
That was a Hosian thing.
Yep. Hosian kind of just reached out to me, kind of just like cold message, pretty much. Like hadn't really like had like much of an established friendship before. I had like definitely like purchased some stuff from Hosian's web store before, and like I don't know, I guess my name just like hopped out on like a shipping label, and he was like, I remember that fucking guy, and then he just like straight up just messaged me out of fucking nowhere.
Didn't you leave him on red for a week?
I did actually. So
You had me tweaking, dude.
I'm a little
He's
notoriously
like, "Oh, fuck
hard
this
to
guy
reach, and I'm like a huge pain in the ass. My phone is morbidly just dead, or chronically dead. That's what I mean.
Or you do those mental things where you read it and you thought you replied, but you mentally replied to it.
Straight up,
Oh,
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
straight up.
That's me. Holy shit.
And so I definitely left Hosian on red, and I had no idea that he asked me to like try out for the band either. Like it just completely went over my head, and then I don't know. I just like went back and like I was like, oh, I haven't heard from him in a couple days. Oh, I'm the asshole. Like I didn't respond. And then I was like, oh my god, he just asked me like an actual like big question, and I just iced him. So
It's all good. I wasn't tweaked or anything. I was just.
Yeah,
You just said he had
He
me.
was chilling.
It's like we had other guys prospects. He was all right.
No. I mean, to be real, we tried other people out. Mike was not the first person to try out. We tried other people out and like dope friends, but no, like nothing really worked.
Yeah.
Nothing was really dope.
Yeah.
And, like Mike was like the first person that we tried out where it was awesome. It was like because everyone was a dope hang. Mike was a dope hang and like fit the vibe and like just had a great voice and was like.
Mike was
like,
just ultra.
Mike was just ultra. Mike was just dope.
I knew that Mike was the one before I heard him. I just
Literally
knew it.
saying, yeah.
I just knew it. I was like, I heard all these other dudes, and I was like, they're all sick and everything. I was like, this is the reason why he's taking forever is because he's the one.
He's gonna dub his nickname Ultra Mike on stage now.
Ultra Mike.
Let's go.
we can't get too far. There's a lot of people who get in the comment section and start saying, shut him up before he starts.
Yeah. But yeah, like Mike was just
We
was just
appreciate
super dope, and like it was definitely stressful trying to find a new person in the middle of COVID, and like all this stuff for like prospects for like all bands were not that high. So it's like we'd love for you to do this. There's not like necessarily a lot of immediate benefits. Like,
Yeah.
can't pay you a bunch of money, can't do this and do that. He just like sacrificed really hard.
It
to
was
make
crazy
happen.
how down he was.
Yeah.
Because like it meant him having to travel and come in like to a uncomfortable territory,
Yeah.
not knowing the area or like the music or that much or anything. So it's cool for him to be like, I need to get out of my comfort zone and I want to try this.
Yeah.
And
So-
now Ultra is gonna be this first feature album,
Yeah.
along with you guys.
And it was an uncomfortable experience, but it was definitely something that like I personally was hungry for, and I think that's why we like hit it off so well, is because we all wanted it so bad. And like I already fucked with the band before I was ever in it, so I was like, okay, fuck, like that's pretty fucking cool. And like I don't know, it made sense, and it was something I knew like I had to go for it or I was never going to go again, kind of thing. And I just knew, the same way that Hosian or any of these guys just knew. I was like, this is like the big swing, and like it may not come again, kind of thing.
And now you're on back.
So we had to go fucking ultra with it.
Gotta go fucking ultra.
He joined, and I was like, riding time.
Now we're going ham at it, going full bore.
Hashtag going ultra.
Which, in the same way, I think that like quarantine got kids into music, that also gave us time to be like, yo,
Buckle
what
down.
are we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
kind of redefine who we are as people and like as a band too.
Yeah.
everything, So it's almost like crazy to think that had that not happened, I don't know necessarily where we would be.
Yeah.
But it seemed pretty important to end up here now, kind of thing.
Well, dude, the cards are stacked, man. You guys found a great singer. You guys have been doing shows already, touring with them, and people fucking love you guys. And
I
dude,
appreciate you, man.
it's all going into place.
Appreciate that.
The grind is paying.
Yes.
As we're wrapping up, it's always fun to ask, especially, it's everyone's music taste is different, and every metalhead just loves metal. We all listen to different stuff. The new Kendrick Lamar album's fucking dope.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
So, what are you guys listening to, rotating when you guys are driving?
I listen to what I expect to be annoying. No one's ever like been like, Mike, fuck off with this song or anything, but like I'll either go from like some kind of video game soundtrack to like anime intro music. Like sometimes I'll put on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and just kind of like look in the rear view mirror and kind of just see what
aviators on
about me playing this. Like, and I'm having the best time of my life. It's either like video game soundtrack, annoying anime intro music, or deathcore when I play, because I'm a connoisseur of old deathcore, and I love that shit still.
Rest in peace, Trevor.
Straight up. I mean, dude, like Miasma, like that was like one of the records like I was listening to whenever I was in my parents' garage trying to learn how to scream for the first time. So that huge hit just for like influence wise for me. I didn't know Trevor or anything, but like that, those things are big deals, at least to me and most people in the community, in the genre. But yeah, lots of deathcore and shit like that.
Who's next?
You can go next.
So for sure the new Landless album from last year, which I was like never big on necessarily. That album is fucking fire. There's this band called Kanzu that I came across. They only have like one album. I don't think they do anything, but it's like this weird electronic.
Was it Maylene and Sons of Disaster? They have that one album.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know if it's like a one dude project. I don't know where they're from. They're from like Europe somewhere. It's like an electronic, atmospheric kind of metal thing that's really cool. I will usually throw on Koi no Yokan from Deftones. That's like a go-to. Daniel Caesar sometimes. Like I like a little R&B. Some like weird, like kind of like new wave jazz sometimes, and then podcasts. Like I like Last Podcast. I've been doing like Therapy Gecko lately, or Theo Von. Just like something to break up just like constant noise and just like hear people talking. So that's me.
Mackie,
have at it.
So
Motionless in White.
lately, me and Mike have been really into the Motionless in White song where they break Benjamin. But I think a lot of the common stuff here between all of us is like stuff like Meshuggah or Hey Breed or Dylan Drake, all the things that like really influence us.
Everyone puts on the new Meshuggah record.
It's so good.
It's so amazing.
They're
coming through here. I can't wait to see them.
Lately, I've been listening to a lot of like Koyo from Long Island. Like a lot of, like pop punk emo stuff.
Yeah. They were just with the Kublai Khan guys too.
Yeah. I just saw them in Orlando on that Noctu store. They killed it. I like a lot of like trip hop and like DJ Shadow, Massive Attack, Portishead. Well, I like the weirdo, like hyperpop stuff, like the new Charlie XCX record, or like, funny enough, like Rebecca Black, the Friday girl.
Rebecca Black.
Dude, her EP she put out this past year is so good. It's
Yeah.
legitimately awesome.
Really
And then like I'll listen to like older like late '90s, like early 2000s emo, like Death Cab for Cutie, Postal Service, Tegan and Sarah. Like that's a lot of stuff that like I kind of fell into before I discovered a lot of like heavy
Metal.
music. Yeah.
Get the side swipe going. Get the.
I had it. you might not think it now, but I had it.
No longer.
I definitely like hyperpop stuff. There's a group called Underscores I like a lot. I like Dredge. I listen to Dredge a lot when I'm driving. A lot of like comic book like YouTube channels. My big thing. But honestly, I don't know why now. I used to not like listening to like heavy stuff when I drive or at night. Now I just only listen to hardcore. Like I think the new Terror record's really good.
Fucking
amazing.
amazing.
I've
Beautiful, man.
I've been on like a big like Buried Alive kick, Madball.
This is a great year for
No
this
Warning.
hardcore music in general.
No, yeah,
so
I
much great
think
content
that's
out.
So
a
many
lot of
good-
cool hard,
so
like
many good
hardcore
records.
bands, Pain of Truth, Gridiron, like just like really like just music for like stupid music for stupid people kind of thing. That's like the shit that I like the most right now. So it's probably really fucking annoying for other people who are like in the middle of the night and just want to chill, but I just want to like just listen to mosh music all day.
For me, they all know it's always Meshuggah, and if it's not, then I drive in silence. I'm like, I sometimes will just drive.
No, you'll gent sometimes.
Yeah,
with
well, for
different
the other band
bands.
I listen to a lot is this band called Vola.
Love
I
Love
love that
Vola.
band a lot. But usually it's between Meshuggah. My other favorite band is Coheed and Cambria, so I listen to them a lot. But yeah, I like to not have some stuff on sometimes, just quietness.
You wouldn't know, but this man can sing. When Coheed is on,
Dude.
he is getting it.
That's hilarious.
Are you hitting those tenor points? Or you go?
He is.
I've been a huge fan of
He's not
He's a
pitchy at all.
tenor.
He hits every note.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good.
He's,
Like, oh shit.
he's a good fucker.
The boy.
Fucker.
Well, I wanted to ask this because this would be a fun one. If do you guys have tattoos?
No, I don't have any tattoos.
Oh damn! I was gonna say what's our first
Bummer,
tattoos?
right?
Or our most regrettable tattoos?
I can show you some just scars that I have.
I'm down to do that.
Or what's your most regrettable tattoo?
So I had, unfortunately, it's from my parents. It was like the second tattoo I ever got, and I was like, I thought too deep about it, so I got this
The
like
nautical.
nautical compass. And this used to be like the ugliest shade of blue that I had like blacked out, and I may just eventually black the whole thing.
It's really
out.
funny you say
Do
that's
something
ugly. I have a nautical compass on my neck.
Let's
You fucking
go.
asshole.
else. I thought that shit was a Beyblade. What is that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
said
die in hell.
I literally did
I,
that.
straight up, I thought it was too. I'm not kidding. I thought it was a Beyblade.
You should roll with it being a Beyblade.
Yeah, it's a
You are,
Beyblade.
it's crazy how many times you guys have died in my mind in the past couple seconds.
Do you have any regrettable ones?
Ah man, I don't know if it's regrettable, but I didn't pay for it.
Oh, well, then whatever.
Yeah, fuck it.
my buddy was he was like, "You're not down." When someone says you're not down, you gotta do it.
Yeah,
you're not down.
Come in.
It's the triple dog dare.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the whole thing.
So you guys know Seyosin, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
of course,
I love
of course.
Sayson.
So they had back in the MySpace days, they had one song. You could only hear it on YouTube. And I got it on my thigh, and it's "Show Me Your Booty Hole."
LimeWire classic, dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Thigh is a safe place though. You
Yeah,
can get
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
on that.
It's tasteful. It's like high up here, so I can lift it up and like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
That's sick, dude.
All my friends, like, the worst, not the worst, but the most like questionable items any of my friends have exist in this
Thigh
general
up.
area.
Yeah, because
straight
you
up.
don't want your parents to see those.
Dude, Big Timmy. He's the
Yeah.
one. He doesn't have many tattoos, but his thighs are covered. They're just fucking
Dumb
bullshit,
shit.
dude.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about you two gentlemen?
I only have a couple. I don't regret
All
it.
of us
No,
are
no,
tattoos.
Yeah.
Tattoos in general, I don't regret it.
All right, which one do you regret the most? You have to pick one. Especially these ones that you got recently from a close friend. You have to pick.
Which one do you hate the most?
Yeah, which tattoo from Faith
Yeah.
do you hate the most?
Well, Faith only did one, but literally all of my tattoos have been done by
Mackie
a
has
dear
good
friend.
tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky that I've had friends who are very talented, and you know they're like, I have this cool idea, come get it, and I'm like, okay.
Homie hookups.
He waited until his brain had totally formed to make those
Yeah,
decisions.
that's the thing. Like from like 16 to 18,
Dude,
I've had. There's been because your brain's not fully formed, still a little jelly. There's so many ideas that go through your head, like, oh, this would be like a sick tattoo. Yeah. And then like a year later, you're like, why would I?
Yeah, when you're that age, you shouldn't legally be allowed to get tattoos. And also, legally, your vocabulary should be halved.
My
You're
rule
just gonna
now
say something stupid.
is don't think too hard about it. Just get the coolest looking thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. At this point, I'm like, if it looks cool and it's not like
that's what we all get to when we start getting
inherently problematic. Then
Mike, do you regret the Beyblade?
Beyblade looks awesome.
I
like
cool.
the Beyblade.
It is cool. Let her rip.
No, I only have one tattoo I actually regret. It's like here on my right ankle. It's my first tattoo ever, and I was like fucking 18. It's just hope. But what I regret the most about it is that the first time it was done, like half of it fucking fell out, and I had this dude like redo it. But I was dating this girl at the time, and she stopped me from getting it changed to just dope. because one of the two sticks fell out, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I could totally just make this say dope. And she's like, I will break up with you if you do that. And she still fucking broke up with me anyways. So I don't have dope on my ankle, and. That is my regret. My regret is the tattoo that I didn't get.
You can do it now.
You could just get dope across your forehead.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I can do it.
Eye tattoo.
Yeah, straight up.
Dude,
That would be
dope.
a heinous thing.
Be certified.
Dude, ultra dope, right there.
Ultra dope. That is a chaotic
That's so cool.
Both eye right here. Ultra.
God,
dope.
that's so awesome.
But dude, guys, stoked for the show. Stoked for the new album to drop out in a couple weeks. Ultra dropping on all platforms. I'll have it going on there. This will be dropping next week. Prior to it, when is the new single dropping? The date? Do you guys have?
June 12th.
June 12th.
June 14th.
That's my birthday, so I know that.
Oh, there you go. See, now you know. Now you can't forget his birthday and put it on there when you tag it.
Yes, sir.
Send him your wishes.
But be on the lookout for the tour, which I'll have the dates posted to as well, so you can buy the tickets. They're going to be going for 2 months straight. Pretty much, right? It is 2 months straight.
Yeah.
So there's no excuses. They're going everywhere, like literally everywhere, and back down to California. So.
And if you fuck with us, you can pre-order our record, because that would make a lot of people in this room happy.
Which I'll include that link because they're great variants. I love that vinyl and the CD cover. It's pretty fucking sick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you
was
so
really
much.
dope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But always horns up everywhere you go.